Hey folks, Alan Saunders with another episode of Steelers Practice Report here at SteelersNow.com, Steelers Now YouTube channel. Make sure you like and subscribe, hit that bell for notifications so you don't miss anything from the latest from Pittsburgh Steelers training camp. The Steelers just wrapped up their 12th practice of training camp 2024. Just behind me here, Chucknall Field at St. Vincent College. And it was another eventful one. We start off the day with the transaction. The Steelers put inside linebacker Tyler Murray on waivers with an injury designation, brought in Easton Gibbs, rookie free agent linebacker out of Wyoming. He had his first practice today, but he was joined by a whole bunch of other people making their practice returns. It was a good day for the Steelers on an injury front, and then we got some bad news later on, but we'll start with the good. Guys like Jeremiah Moon, Kyron Johnson, Grayland Arnold, Patrick Queen, DeMarvin Leal, all who have been banged up over the last couple days, all were roughly full participants in today's practice. Really good news, especially on the front with Leal. He's been really good, and you'd hate to see that momentum disrupted. He did have a sleeve on his right leg, but didn't look limited out there at all. And obviously Patrick Queen, we all know how important he is to what this team wants to do on defense. He was back out there as well. Did have a couple of guys that with previous injuries that did not suit up today. That'd be Roman Wilson. Alex Highsmith sat out today with his groin injury, and safety Nate Metters missed with his hamstring. And then there were 3 injuries in practice. Breiden Fehoko, some kind of arm or shoulder injury, and he left practice and didn't return. DeShon Elliott, some kind of lower body injury, walked off but then left the practice field on a cart. Don't have an update on either of those because Mike Tomlin did not speak after practice. He spoke before. We'll get into more of that later. And then finally, Darius Rush had some kind of foot injury, but he was able to return to practice. Keep an eye on his status, though, going forward. So, getting a bunch of guys healthy, it looks like this team is getting ready to play the Houston Texans. Mike Tomlin said during his press conference this morning that there are 7 players that he is ruling out for that game. That's Russell Wilson, that's Isaiah Seumalo, that's TJ Watt, Cam Hayward, Patrick Queen, Minkah Fitzpatrick. And so leaves the door open for everybody else, including Roman Wilson, which was surprising to me. I am still skeptical that he is going to suit up in that game. He has yet to practice, and they just have 2 more here before the game. But leaving the door open for everybody else. He said the starters, including Justin Fields, will play a couple series. He's expecting them to be out of the game by the end of the first half, and that's why the second and third teams the last 2 days have ran the practice closing 2-minute drills. Kyle Allen ran one yesterday, and then John Rice Plumlee ran one today. Both times the defense, and my notes, gets the pretty easy win. We did get a full practice participation for Russell Wilson today. He took all 4 first-team reps and 7 shots. Justin Fields was working with the 2s, and so it was a full practice for Russell Wilson, and he continues to look very good. There does not appear to be any lasting effect of the calf injury. There doesn't appear to be any rust. He looks very, very good in his 4 reps. It was a corner route for a touchdown to Calvin Austin, a out route to Van Jefferson that fell incomplete just in front of his hands there, and then 2 handoffs for touchdowns, one by Najee Harris and one for Jaylen Warren. I think Russ looks great. We talked to him after practice. He said it is his intention to play at some point during this preseason. He feels like he wants to get the reps. He wants to go out there against a live defense. Obviously here, even if the whole rest of the practice is live, nobody's going to be hitting a quarterback. He says he has at points in his career gone into the season without playing in the preseason, but his preference would be to play in a game, and he feels good coming back from that calf injury, ready to go. It doesn't seem like that's something that's going to linger or bother him at all at this point. Another strong practice, another physical practice, again, here in pads, a lot of run periods. But the offense gets the better of the 7 shots drill. I've got 4 rushing touchdowns down here, in addition to Harris and Warren. Pirine and Shamplin both pushed in, and Breiden Fehoko forced Fields out of the pocket for the other defensive win. Jonathan Ward had about an 80-yard screen pass in the team period. He continues to be someone who's impressed me. I talked to him after practice, and he really expressed his gratitude for the Steelers for the opportunity first and foremost. Remember, this is a guy that was a tryout at rookie camp a few months ago, not only to be here, but also the way they run practices, and that they're so game-like, and that the fact that they are being tackled to the ground, that it is a real opportunity to be evaluated. He said, like a lot of teams, this time of training camp, you don't know anything because you haven't played a game. And here, you feel like you do have an ability to separate yourself because you are doing more that is football-like, as Mike Tomlin likes to say, than a lot of other teams do. And so he is someone, in my eyes, that has separated himself. He had another, like I said, about an 80-yard screen pass and another nice day today. couple other notes here. I watched Darnell Washington make a fantastic one-handed catch over DeMonte KZ in the 7-on-7 period. I think Washington has continued to look better and more athletic. We saw the athletic testing coming out of the draft. Hasn't necessarily lived up to that profile yet in his NFL career, but I think you're seeing flashes of it. It was about a 30-yard pass down the seam, and he beat KZ and made a one-handed catch, a really nice one. One of the better plays I've seen from him so far. John Rice Plumlee, the Steelers did a first-team kickoff return against the second-team kickoff coverage unit. And actually, while I was watching that, I kind of, for the first time, realized how difficult this is going to be to practice, because I think just because of the way it's working, I think you're going to use a lot of the same people. Like Miles Killebrew is going to be on the Steelers' top kickoff coverage and return, and Peyton Wilson and Nick Herbig and Beanie Bishop and a lot of the same guys you're going to see on both sides of that unit. So I think it is going to be a little bit difficult for teams to practice this, unlike, say, before when you had a lot of fast guys that had to run all the way down on the kickoff return, and you have bigger guys that are going to try to block them. You were dealing with a little bit of different skill sets. Now it's mostly the same, but Jalen Warren was the first-team kickoff returner when the first time they did it. I expect that he is not going to perform that role in the preseason game this week, and that is why he was not out there this time. But you did see John Rice Plumlee, who had been out there with Warren, and then Ward as the two kick returners for this game. Plumlee took the first one to the house. And so, look, I don't think John Rice Plumlee is making this team as a quarterback. I think he's probably a guy that's headed for the practice squad. But the fact that they're still using him as a first-team kickoff returner right now feels to me like the team sees something in him. He's a guy that I do expect to stick around on the practice squad with his athleticism. The 2-minute drill did not go very well. Again, it seems like the Steelers' offense has been played by drops in that one. Today it was Perine with a drop. Plumlee also had an ill-advised pass downfield that was nearly intercepted by Cam Sutton, and Jacoby Windman with some pressure to force him out of the pocket as well. I think the Steelers have something in John Rice Plumlee, but I'm not sure if he's someone that they are excited about playing quarterback anytime soon. The big play was the screen to Ward. I continue to emphasize how much this offense is going to use the screen pass. We see it over and over again. We see it to wide receivers. We see it to tight ends. And today we saw one to George Pickens, and Justin Fields threw a not very good pass. He has had this sort of tick where he's been a little bit high after executing a play fake. This one was not a little bit high. This one was a lot of bit high, and Pickens went about 10 feet up in the air, one-handed to come down with it. Absolutely not only the best play of the game, but best play of the day, but one of the best catches I've seen George Pickens make this season. Talked to Van Jefferson after it, and he just said, "That's George, man. We're nonplussed by it at this point. This is who he is and what we expect and what we continue to expect." But that certainly got a rise out of the crowd here at Chartwell Field. That's it for now. I'll have more with Zachary Smith and the Steelers Afternoon Drive. I'm sure we're going to find something to talk about. Yeah, we're going to talk about Brandon Ayuk. We'll be back with more for that. Make sure you like, subscribe, click that bell for notifications here on the YouTube channel so you don't miss anything from myself, Smitty, and the whole rest of the team at Steelers Now. Until then, see you later.